Good morning. One of the great things about our system of government is that public officials, no matter how powerful, carve out the time to sit down and expose themselves to obnoxious questioning. And that's what's going to happen over the next 2 weekends here. We're very pleased to welcome the governor of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, Charlie Baker. I was just kidding about the obnoxious question.
Oh, no, you're not.
Welcome. Good to have you here. So, Governor, this may be dated by the time this interview airs on Sunday. We're taping earlier in the week here, but I got to ask you, Governor Deval Patrick is reportedly planning to enter the presidential race. Based on what you found when you took over from him in January of 2015, do you think he could be a good president?
Well, I think, first of all, the decision that anybody makes to run is very personal, and obviously this is something he and his wife, Diane, have talked about previously because he almost got in last year. I ran against him, as you may recall, and lost in 2010. And I always said that I thought he was a spectacular candidate and campaigner, and maybe the best retail politician certainly I've ever seen. We had a lot of differences on a lot of things when we took over. It's part of the reason why I ran against him in 2010. But I think a presidential campaign is, especially in this day and age, is going to be as much about the message as it is about anything else. And I think if he chooses to get in, that's really where his focus will be too.
On what his message is.
Yeah, and the voters too. I talk to a lot of voters all the time, and the thing I hear from them over and over again is how disheartened and distressed they are by the quality of public discourse, especially at the national level, where they basically view everybody as just throwing tomatoes at each other all day long and not really focusing on anything that really relates to the people's particular interests and concerns.
All right, well, we'll may get into more of that in a second part of our interview that airs next weekend. But let's talk about what's happening locally. You have called for borrowing $18 billion over the coming years to fund transportation improvements that would add tens of thousands of transit seats, overhaul the bus system, improve roads, and so on. Your plan to pay for it includes a potential future fuel tax, a fee, under the Transportation and Climate Initiative that would provide an uncertain amount of dough. It's not clear whether it could even be implemented. Why not remove the uncertainty, get the ball rolling on these improvements sooner by going for a gas tax increase, considering that our current gas tax is lower than every New England state except New Hampshire?
Okay, just one thing about the bill. Remember, when we file a transportation bond bill, we have to put federal funding in there alongside state funding, so it's not all borrowing. Well, I guess you could theoretically say it's all borrowing if you think the federal money that's in there is borrowed. Right. But the bottom line is it's a combination of state and federal resources.
I stand corrected.
So it's not a correction, it's just an abbreviation. With respect to the Transportation Climate Initiative, we currently have in Massachusetts on energy a 9-state coalition that puts a price on carbon when we buy energy, when wholesalers buy energy, and they take that money and they turn around and they invest it into mass save and to energy efficiency programs and other initiatives to reduce the amount of energy that we all use. And this is basically the same idea, a 12-state consortium, price on carbon. You take the money from it and you put it into things that reduce transportation emissions, which is the #1 cause of greenhouse gas emissions at this point. And I just think doing this regionally makes so much more sense than trying to do it one state at a time.
What's your resistance to the gas tax? I mean, I understand it's politically volatile. Poll after poll shows it's unpopular. But, you know, you're the most popular governor in the country. You're early on in your second term. You certainly have the political capital to support something like that. And by the time you're up for re-election again, if you do run again, people will be seeing, I presume, tangible improvements in this blight on our quality of life. Why are you so reluctant?
Well, first of all, with the work we're currently doing with our $8 billion capital plan on the MBTA and the stuff that we'd like to get out of this bond bill, people will see improvements anyway on transportation. But more importantly, I think doing anything like that on a regional basis makes more sense. If you're a retailer who operates anywhere around the New England region, and the state of Massachusetts goes ahead and slaps a big gas tax on gas and on drivers, you're going to suffer for that because people are going to go to New Hampshire, they're going to go to Vermont, they're going to go to Connecticut, Rhode Island, New York to buy their gas. They're not going to buy it in New Hampshire. And I see no reason to disadvantage Massachusetts distributors at the expense of everybody else.